In 1999, Tian Ya beating platforms such as Weibo, Jihu. For a time, Tianya was the pulse of information in China, a bustling firm where people of all walks exchanged ideas. This narrative unfolds within Chang's vibrant online community, emphasizing its importance before the advent of social media. It spotlights a forum where a multitude of voices converge to discuss a wide range of subjects. In February 2004, Tianyabi BS welcomed Zuo Yang, a newcomer enthralled by the Lotus Talk Ghost Stories section. This was a bustling hub of supernatural tales and chilling narratives. Zuo Yang had a taste for the eerie and the enigmatic. He engaged actively in discussions, sharing his own bone-chilling stories. Yet, despite his immersion in these ghostly tales, he had never actually met a ghost or a pyro slang for spirits in Chinese internet culture. This only intensified his curiosity about their existence and the possibility of encountering them. Zuo Yan decided to test these games himself. For him, courage was no obstacle. He was determined to demystify the supernatural. On February 20, 2005, Zuo Yang started a new thread, personal experiences with several horror games, where he detailed his experiences with 5 games and the ensuing events. He addressed the online community, asserting that his account was factual and vowing to take legal responsibility if it turned out to be false. Zuo Yang kicked off with Midnight Apple Peeling, a game conducted under the cloak of darkness at the stroke of midnight. With the lights off and the candle flickering, he peeled an apple before a mirror, a ritual believed to offer a glimpse into one's past life. The catch? The peel had to come off in one unbroken strip, a task demanding precision and skill for the untrained. This game was no easy feat. On the eve of the game, Zuo Yang was brimming with excitement, having meticulously prepared all the necessary items. Seated in his room, he was poised, awaiting the midnight hour, the moment the clock chimed 12, peeling it in silence, with focus and care. Despite the difficulty and his hands shaking, he completed the peeling, yet no extraordinary event transpired. Undeterred by the initial lack of results, Zuo Yang peeled several more apples, his gaze fixed so firmly on the mirror. It was as if he sought to pierce its reflective surface. Yet, his past life remained elusive. Finally, worn out, he succumbed to fatigue and drifted off to sleep. The next day, his mother discovered the floor strewn with apple peels, a sight that led her to fear her son had lost his sanity. To dispel any doubts about the veracity of his narrative, Zuo Yang made a clear statement at the outset, and he stood ready to bear legal consequences should it prove otherwise. This is a ritual that some believe can connect participants with the spirit world. The act of eating rice at a crossroads at midnight is thought to be a way to invite or communicate with spirits, often with the hope of receiving guidance or insight. Following the game's rules at midnight, he took a bowl of white rice and went outside, heading to a particularly dark and deserted crossroads. There, he inserted 3 incense sticks into the rice and placed the bowl on the ground. After the incense had burned out, Zuo Yang ate the rice and then stood in the same spot, waiting for the rice, now imbued with the energy of the extreme yin, to lead him through the gate to the spirit world. According to the rules of the game, at midnight, he went out carrying a bowl of white rice, heading to a very dark crossroads where no one passed by. He then inserted 3 incense sticks into the rice and placed it on the ground. Once the incense had finished burning, Zuo Yang ate the rice and stood there, waiting for the rice, now filled with the energy of the extreme yin, to bring him into the gate of the spirit world. But after standing for a long time, nothing happened. The only discomfort he felt was a sore throat from the rice mixed with incense ash. On the way back, Zuo Yang encountered a problem. A journey that should have taken only 10 minutes took him over an hour. Whether it was a ghost wall or something else, he was not sure. However, this unexpected situation made Zuo Yang feel that the game was somewhat interesting, and he wanted to try a few more. After that, he went on to play Bloody Marion Spirit Summoning in sequence. Throughout the experiences, he didn't forget to make light of the situation, joking that if he met with any misfortune, everyone should, in recognition of his dedication to the ghost stories, burn some paper money for him as an offering. The specific steps are as follows. Enter a pitch-black bathroom alone without turning on the lights. Face the mirror and light a candle between yourself and the mirror, or light one on each side of the mirror. Close your eyes, focus, and whisper Bloody Mary 3 times. A ferocious spirit or a pair of red demonic eyes might appear in the mirror. Blood could seep from the mirror and the walls, and there's a risk that the spirit might pull you into the mirror. After trying this game, Zuo Yang said that there indeed were mysterious changes in the mirror. It was the bathroom steam, which had all condensed on the mirror. His comment caused a burst of laughter from the people replying to the post below. On the midnight of a full moon in a damp and pitch black alley, a person walks forward following their shadow, reciting their name with each step. As they proceed, they may notice that the shadow on the ground suddenly becomes 2, with the additional 1 belonging to a ghost that has followed them. This ghost will offer to help with a task and may also request a favor in return. However, if a malevolent spirit is summoned, the situation could become uncontrollable. Zuo Yang mentioned that since the game must be played on a full moon night, he would have to wait until the next month. He jokingly added that if he didn't post the results of the game, it might mean he had met with misfortune, and he would appreciate it if everyone burned more paper money for him, promising to visit him, express his gratitude. The respondents on the forum all said that a visit to express thanks wouldn't be necessary. At this point, the majority of netizens, including Zuo Yang, felt that these psychic games were nothing to write home about. Despite their mythical reputation, in reality, they seem to have no effect at all. Despite this perception, Zuo Yang still wanted to continue with the games. After all, there was a chance that one of them might actually work. Thus, Zuo Yang embarked on the most famous and terrifying Four Corners game. This game is often described as a classic in the realm of psychic or horror games, known for its eerie nature and the suspense it creates. The Four Corners game typically involves a group of participants standing at the corners of a room, and through a series of steps, they attempt to make contact with spirits, unexplained phenomena. It's considered a daring act, especially for those who are intrigued by the supernatural and are seeking a thrilling experience. For those who may not be familiar with the rules of this game, let's provide a brief introduction. At midnight, find a rectangular room and turn off all the lights. Then, have one person stand at each of the room's four corners facing the wall and not looking back. Once the game begins, one person must walk to another person, either clockwise, lightly pat their shoulder, and then stay in place. The person whose shoulder was patted then follows the same direction and method to walk to the next person. There will be a corner without anyone standing in it. When someone reaches that empty corner, they need to cough and then continue to the next person until they meet someone. It is said that as the game progresses, the coughing will stop, indicating that there is an extra person in the room. On this particular night, after having their fill of food and drinks, Zuo Yang suggested to Lao Li, Xiao Feng, and Niu Zi that they play an exciting game to cap off the evening. With the atmosphere just right, not playing would have been a letdown. Thus, the four of them embarked on the game. Zuo Yang took the lead, walking to Lao Li's corner. Then Lao Li moved to Xiao Feng's corner, with Niu Zi being the last in the sequence, and so on. The entire process was quite oppressive, and the four men, their nerves on edge, circled around for about 20 minutes, with the coughing sounds continuously mocking the empty corner. Suddenly, Xiao Feng started howling, nearly scaring the others out of their wits. Lao Li quickly turned on the light in the house. Xiao Feng shouted that there's one less person. He had walked past two corners without encountering anyone. They looked closely, and indeed, one person was missing. It was Niu Zi. As everyone was feeling eerie about the situation, Niu Zi walked back in through the door, saying, "I drank too much and had to use the restroom." Zuo Yang was extremely annoyed. Thus, without waiting for a fifth person to appear, they ended the game and everyone went their separate ways. However, Zuo Yang, not satisfied with the inconclusive outcome, was determined to play the Four Corners game again. This time, he didn't invite Niu Zi to join, but brought in a girl with the surname Go. For the first 10 minutes of the game, everything was normal, having played it once before. Zuo Yang and the others were not as nervous as time. It wasn't until later that the girl suddenly let out a scream, prompting Zuo Yang to turn on the light immediately. The girl grabbed Zuo Yang's collar fiercely, staring at him with a fierce gaze, and kept repeating, "I want to leave, I want to leave." Then, she fiercely bit Zuo Yang's shoulder, not letting go. Seeing the girl's emotional collapse and uncontrollable state, Zuo Yang and the others quickly took her to the hospital where she was given a sedative. The following day, after the girl had recovered, she explained that during the game, she had vaguely seen an additional person in one of the corners. The sight had terrified her so much that it triggered her extreme reaction. Zuo Yang also changed his usual attitude and even stated, regardless of whether it's true or not, such games should not be played anymore. After this game, Zuo Yang, who was once very active, for some reason stopped playing games and updating posts. His online presence also decreased. 4 months later, on June 22, 2005, Zuo Yang logged in, saying that he had been suffering a lot and encountered some troubles during this period. He did not elaborate on the specific situation, but he believed it was not related to the game. He also mentioned that when he was offering incense at the temple, an old monk said that he would inevitably go through this disaster in his life and hoped he would take care of himself. After that, Zuo Yang's account has been offline ever since. It wasn't until October 25, 2008, that Zuo Yang logged on again and posted a message. In the post, he stated that the reason he had not been online for so long was due to a deep sense of fear associated with this account. The games he had participated in had exacted a heavy toll, not only leading to the collapse of his own company, but also affecting those around him. During that period, the specific events that transpired were not elaborated on by Zuo Yang. However, at the end of his post, he left a piece of advice regarding the unknown deities and spirits. You may not believe in them, but never desecrate or disrespect them. After these words, Zuo Yang completely vanished, never to appear on the forum again. Since then, various speculations have emerged on him. Some say Zuo Yang was haunted by something sinister, while others believe he was seeking fame through life. But there has never been a definitive answer regarding his whereabouts, making the case of Zuo Yang one of the great unsolved mysteries on the Tian Ya Forum. Nevertheless, in 2012, an account named A Friend of Zuo Yang posted a thread detailing symbols or incidents that occurred to Zuo Yang. The post roughly described, after playing that game, Zuo Yang's mental state became erratic. He often woke up in the middle of the night to terrifying voices. His body would also inexplicably have bruises in various colors, along with scratch marks. Who used to be very close to him started barking at him incessantly during a certain period. There was also an incident where Zuo Yang was crossing the street. Although the road was clearly busy with traffic, he claimed that the street was empty and quiet, so he began to walk across directly. While in the middle of the street, a middle-aged woman yanked him back forcefully, just as a vehicle sped by, nearly hitting him. Had he taken one more step, Zuo Yang might have been killed on the spot. Then, suddenly, his senses returned to normal, and he saw the traffic and heard the noise around him. Some people speculated that Zuo Yang might have been bewitched at that time, with spirits obstructing his vision, deliberately blocking his sensory nerves, causing him to ignore the dangers around him, potentially leading to his demise. The thread describing these events was incredibly sensational, but oddly enough, it was deleted not long after it went viral. Team 2017. An account named Who X Ayukai posted a thread titled After 10 Years, the final statement on the Zuo Yang incident. The post mentioned that the online posts about Zuo Yang were all fictional narratives. It emphasized that Zuo Yang was doing well, cultivating a peaceful mind, doing good deeds, and earning a living for his family. At that time, some netizens believed that this person was most likely the real Zuo Yang, as both the writing style and the tone of voice were identical to that of Zuo Yang from the past. However, this could not be confirmed, as Zuo Yang never made another appearance.